It is a new era of panda diplomacy. China announcing today plans to send a new pair of giant pandas to the San Diego Zoo after pulling nearly all of them from the U.S. Two bears, a male and a female, are expected to arrive as early as late summer once permits and other requirements are approved. Currently, the only pandas in the U.S. are in the ATL.
Well, if you've seen more coyotes than usual lately, do not be alarmed. We are at peak coyote mating season in Illinois. And while the wild animals may seem a little scary, they're actually more afraid of us.
Just trying to repopulate. Dr. Stanley Gehrt is a professor of wildlife ecology at Ohio State University, joining us to answer some of the biggest questions people always have this time of year. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think first and most importantly, what the heck should we do if we do see a coyote?
Well, I think that in most cases, we want to make sure that they have a fear of us. So if they are actually approaching us, we want to scare them away. If they aren't approaching us, if they're just passing by, just let them pass by.
Okay, I have to say, so we used to have these coyotes, and they made a den in my under a shed in my backyard. Babies were born, and the next thing I knew, I see a very ill, sickly-looking coyote laying on some of my pavers in the backyard. I didn't know what to do. Talk about, just trying to ignore them. But what do you do if you have a situation where they have decided to make a den or a home in your backyard?
The best thing to do would be to call your either animal control, either your city animal control or the county animal control agency, and ask them for help or guidance for either to have them removed, humanely removed, or some other kind of management.
All right, now listen, my parents always told me there's no such thing as a dumb question. So what's the difference between a dog and a coyote? Because listen, it's not always as obvious as people might think, right?
Oh, not at all. In fact, it's quite easy to confuse some breeds, and it's not a dumb question. So they are related. They're members of the same family, along with wolves. They can actually interbreed if they're kind of forced to do that by people. But the biggest difference is that, of course, coyotes are wild. In terms of what we're talking about today, coyotes have a very narrow window of breeding. So they only breed during this 6-week period. And then the rest of the year, they could not mate even if they wanted to. Whereas dogs have no mating season, or in fact, the whole year is their mating season.
Guess you'd rather be a dog. Okay, sorry I had to say that. So finally then, if we don't need to worry about them fearing, if we shouldn't be fearful for ourselves, what about for our other pets? Like, how concerned should we be about having coyotes around when you've got, small cats or dogs? We just saw a video of a cat chasing a coyote away. So what are the concerns there?
Sure. Well, coyotes are predators. And so there are times when they are a risk to our cats and our dogs, especially when people are not involved, when people are not present. So the biggest thing is that this time of year, because this is when they're mating, and because they are highly territorial, their hormone levels are at their highest. And so they will be a bit more active than normal, and they will be more aggressive. So the biggest thing is to make sure that if you are using a green space like a park or a golf course or a cemetery, you want to keep your dogs on leash during this time of year. Or if you have a small dog, you may want to watch it if you leave it out if you let it out at night. Keep it in the lights, keep it near the house, and that should get you through the mating season.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, to clarify and reiterate a bit more here about limiting encounters with coyotes. Anything we should take out of our yards? Should we get certain types of lighting that would help keep them away?
So the biggest thing is food. So food is the kind of the underlying issue with their in their relationship with us, and including conflicts. And so they should never associate us with food or our properties. So feeding animals at night is generally not a good idea. So if you do have cats, or if you have outdoor cats, you want to keep your food in. The same thing would be true for dogs. So food is the biggest issue. And then, sure, any kind of disturbance, any kind of something simulating human activities, such as motion active lights, or some people have even put portable radios outside, like tuned to your favorite talk radio station, and moving it around at night.
Oh,
So
that kind
talk
of-
radio, not
Yeah.
like Lil Wayne or Drake. Gotcha.
It could be, you
Noise.
could put some music, but we don't know. Music could be an attractant. We don't know much
Oh,
about that.
very interesting. Okay. Well, Professor, thank you so much. Fascinating.
Yeah,
We
thanks for
learned a
schooling
lot.
us.
Yes. Awesome.
pleasure.
Okay, you take care.